Hello everyone, today let's talk about revisions in Revit. So we will go one by one and we will talk first about sheet issues and revisions settings. You need to go under the view. Here you can see in the sheet composition revisions. You can see I have this sample project from Autodesk, and if I go now to my revisions in here, you will see something like this. Sheet issues revisions, where you can add or delete revisions from the project. So first of all, you can see that there are some parameters here. If I will make this a little bit larger so we will see it, you can see we have some sequence, which is basically telling you the order of creation. So this is the first one created, second one, third, and so on and so forth. You cannot change this. It is just for the Revit to know. Then you have some revision number, numbering systems, date, description, issued, issued to, and issued by, and whether to show it or not. These are all the parameters you can define in this sheet issues or revisions setting. So let's just now talk about how to create a new one. So we can go and add a new revision in here. And you can see it has some revision number, numbering system, some description, and so on and so forth. So if I will go now OK, and I want to create a revision cloud in my project. So let's say in here, and you can create these revision clouds actually inside of the sheet or directly in the view if you want. So we will just do it in the sheet for now. If I will go to my annotate tab, here you can find the revision cloud. You can use this to create a revision. And if you take a look in here, you can choose the revision that you will use with this revision cloud in here. And these are the revisions which we have defined here in the view revisions. So you can see here, if I will make it a little bit smaller now, that I can choose here my sequence 4, which is this one in here. Sequence 4, you can see the revision number is in here, the date is in here, and if I had my issued to and issued by, it is shown in here, and it's grayed out because it is automatically being taken from the revision settings in here. So if I will change this to a different one, you can see, for example, revision 1 or revision 2, or my not for construction or schematic design. So let's just say that we will go with my revision 1 in this example. Maybe I can make a little bit different. So let's go that this will be revision 1 and this will be not 4 but revision 2. So back in here, revision cloud, I will create my revision cloud in here, and let's go with the revision 1. And hit OK. You can see that I have created my revision cloud in here, which is black, and it has this cloudy edge. So if I want to actually modify a little bit how this looks like, I can do this. If I go to my view revisions, you can see here the arc length, which is basically the length of this. So if you want to make it larger or smaller, you can make it in here. So let's go with the 10 millimeters. If I hit apply, you can see that the clouds are smaller. If I want to make it bigger, let's say 30, you can see I can change this. So I will leave this to be, let's say 15, and hit OK. Okay, now let's say that I want to make these revision clouds red because I want to see them better. So I can go with my visibility and graphics to my annotation categories and find my revision cloud and override it. Or if I want to do it like per project, which is my case, I need to go to manage, object styles. Here in annotation objects, find my revision clouds. And I want to do this also for revision cloud text. So I will change this to be red. And also for the clouds, I will change this to be red. Hit OK. And now you can see my revision cloud is red. Okay, so let's now tag this revision cloud. So if I go with my tag tool and tag it, you can see this is some default tag that they have in here in this project, my revision tag. And basically, as you can see, it is tagging me my revision number. Let's say now that, okay, I will create more revision clouds in here, and I will tag it, and I will create another one here, and I will change this to be my revision number 2 or revision 2, and I will tag it. And let's just now say that, okay, I have my revision clouds from revision 1 and revision clouds from revision 2. But now I want to show only revision clouds from revision 2, and I want to hide these from revision 1. You can actually do this as a project setting here. You can see I have this revision number 1 or revision 1, which I want to now hide in my project. And with this show column, you can select if you want to show cloud and tag, only a tag, or if you do not want to show anything. So if I want to show only a tag, I can change this and hit apply. You can see now in the view, in the sheet, you can see only tags. If I do not want to show it, I can hit apply and I will not see anything. So this is how you can actually hide this from the view. I will now unhide this again. Let's just now say that we want to customize this tag, that we do not want to show only the revision number, but something more, let's say more information. Because for example, as you can see, if I select the revision cloud, I have a mark and comments here. And I can say to these comments that, let's say, this is my revision. And I would like to show this comment in my tag. Let's say this is some short description of the revision. For example, here I have changed this. So we need to modify the revision cloud tag. We can go to the family or create a new one from the beginning. And here in the tag label, you can see that I have my revision number now, and I can add here my comments, mark, or some other settings from my revision clouds. So let's go with my comments. And let's say that I want to have it a little bit larger. And let's say that I want to break it after this one. So it will be number 1. Let's move it a little bit down. And this is a sample comment. And let's also make it to run to the left. And I will move this like this. Okay, and let's say that this is our modified revision cloud tag. So if I load it now into the project, override it, now you can see that my comments is shown in my revision cloud tag. So you can see this is my revision and I have changed this, and here I didn't put anything, so it is empty. Okay, now let's say that I want to add another parameter in here to my revision clouds. You can actually do this. You can use another shared parameter to add your own parameters and show them inside of your tags. So let's just do this. We go to our manage project parameters, create a new one, go with the shared parameter file. I have my empty shared parameter file in here, so I will create a new group which will be for revisions. Add a new parameter. Let's say my revision info. It will be a text type parameter. Hit OK. Hit OK. And I will leave it under the text. And I will choose my revision clouds and make it an instance parameter. Hit OK. Hit OK. Now if I will select this, you can see this is my text. Maybe I can change this to be in the identity data. So let's go and do this. My revision info. Let's change this to be under the identity data so it will be with all the others. And now I can put another info here, another info to my custom created parameter for revision clouds. If I need some more parameters, and I can put it in here in this revision cloud tag. If I will go now into my label again, and I will add this parameter from my shared parameter file, my revision info, hit OK, and place it in here. Let's just do it like this, super quick, and I will go back with it. Now you can see that this is my revision, and here you can see my another info. Now you can see that it is actually in one line because I did not break it in here. So I need to change this to be break. All this back into the project. And now you can see this is my revision number, this is my revision and another info. So I will undo this and leave just this one. But this is basically how you can add more parameters to your revision clouds and show them inside of your revision tags, and later also in revision cloud schedules. So let's just now say that we would like to add parameters actually in here as well, but unfortunately that is not possible. You cannot add a parameter here, let's say a comment to this revision. It is just not possible. I was trying to do this, but Revit doesn't allow it as for now. We will see, maybe in the future they will make it, but it is not possible now. So we have talked about feed issues and revisions, how to add them, how to create new ones, how to create the revision cloud and change the visibility, how it looks like, and colors, how to show and hide them, how to create new parameters for these revision clouds and tag them. And now let's talk about numbering of the revisions. So you can see here revision number, and you can see here 1 and 2. And let's just now talk about how Revit calculates actually this. If we go to our numbering, you can see here that there is none. And I can change this to be either none, numeric, or alphanumeric. Here, the numeric and alphanumeric are some predefined settings. And if we go in here to the customized numbering systems, you can actually edit them. And here you can see that you can specify number of digits. So for example, if I want to have this 0102, I can say that it will have 2 digits. Hit OK, and now you can see that the numbering is 0102. I will create a new revision, revision 3. So we will have more of them. And go back to our customizing. You can change the starting number, let's say to be 5, so it goes with 0506 and so on. And you can add prefix and suffix. So let's say revision, so it will be R. And now you can see it looks like this. So you can actually play a little bit with this. I will go back with how it was. 1, 2, 3. And now with alphanumeric, you can actually create a custom sequence. So you can see this A, B, C, D, and you can also add prefix, suffix, and so on. If I will go with my alphanumeric systems, okay, I have made a mess in here. It should be empty. I can change this to be alphanumeric, and now you can see this going with ABC. So you can actually create custom numbering systems, if you go and create a new numbering system, you can always create numeric or alphanumeric systems. So let's say that I will create my numeric, and I will go with my 2 digits and with my prefix. And now I can change this to be my numeric system, and you can see that it is being numbered accordingly to my numeric system. Now, if I will add some new revisions, let's say revision 4, okay, I will delete this one, revision 5 and revision 6. And now I can play with my numbering systems. As you can see, if they are using the same numbering system, they are numbered according to this numbering system. If I will change this to be, let's say, this first three will be my numbering system, and then I will use the default one, you can see that you can define two different revisions to which numbering systems they should belong to. So you can actually have multiple numbering systems inside of your project. And it will be automatically calculating for you the revision number according to this numbering system. And as you can see, always if it is created like later in the sequence, it has the higher number for the numbering. So if I will go now with my OK, now you can see this is all in the revision number 1, and this is revision number 2. And let's add some comment in here as well. So this is numbering, but based on the project. If I will go here, you can see the setting, which is either based per project or per sheet. So this is per project. So it means that in every sheet and every view where I will use this revision 1, it will have the revision number R01. Even though it can be actually like revision number 4, it will be numbered as revision number 1. So if you want to change this and you want to have different numbering per sheet, you can change this in here. But be aware, because this setting is for all of the revisions, and you cannot actually change this to be, let's say, these 3 revisions will be numbered per project and these 3 will be per sheet. This is not possible. It's always either per project or per sheet. So if we change this to per sheet and go now OK, you can see that on the first side nothing changed. But if I will go and change this to be my revision number 3, still nothing changed. It is the same. But let's say that I will now delete this revision number 2 from the view. And now you can see, actually, if I will put it back, take a look in here on this revision number, that if I will delete this revision from my view or from my sheet, you can see that it automatically changed to be revision R02. And this is because it doesn't matter if this revision is like the sequence 3, revision 1, and this is sequence 5, revision 3. So it should be like, when we take a look in here, this is like the first revision, second revision, and third revision. So when it was numbered per project, it was revision number 3. But because it is numbers per sheet, it is revision number 2, because it is the second one which is used on this sheet. And if I will go and now use or create a revision cloud and use a revision from different numbering system and tag it, you can see that it starts with the number from that system. And again, because this is the first revision from the different numeric system, it uses this revision number in here. So if I go now back in here, you can see that I have used my revision 5. So it was actually like the second revision, but it is numbered as number 1 because it is first one on the sheet. If I will now create another one, and I will use my revision number 4, you can see that it automatically recalculated and place this as a revision number 2, and this is a revision number 1. And the fact that this has changed to the number 2 and this one is number 1 is based on the order that they are created in here. So you can see that because this one was created first and this one was second, that's why this one has number 1, even though I have created it after this one. And this one has number 2 because it is lower in this sequence. So this is numbering per sheet and per project. Let's just now talk about what does this issued parameter do. So let's say that I would go with my revision number. Let's say this one is revision 1, so it is sequence 3. This one as issued. The issued parameter means that after you have issued the revisions, you can see that this is grayed out and you cannot change it. You cannot modify it. You can like play with the visibility if to show it or not, but you cannot modify if it is issued, the description, the date, the numbering, and so on. Also here you can see that if I go with my revision cloud tag and I click it, it is all grayed out. So we cannot modify it because it is issued. And the last thing that it does is that if I'm creating a new revision cloud and I want to choose a revision from here, you can see that this issued one, I cannot actually assign it because it is issued. So you can only assign revisions that are not issued to choose from for the revision clouds. So me personally, I actually do not use this much. So I will leave it like this. And now let's just talk about the last thing, and this is schedules. First, we will take a look on this schedule that is in here in the title block family, and then we will talk about revision cloud schedule as created in the project. So this is a little bit strange, and it is like I'm using Revit 2024. In previous versions of Revit, you were actually not able to create a revision cloud schedule inside of the project. You could create it only like this inside of the title block. So let's just first take a look on what this does. So if we will go actually to the family of the title block, you can see that here I have a schedule graphics. And if I will go to my sheet composition, you can see my schedule revision schedule. You can create it from scratch if you want. Here under view, create revision schedule and place it on the sheet. So we will go with this one. So let's just open it. And this is our revision schedule, and it's basically schedule like we are used to inside of the Revit project. But the thing with this schedule is that if you go to the fields, you can see that you have revision sequence, date, description number, and issued to and issued by. You do not have anything more. You can like choose from project information, but from revisions you have only these 6 parameters. And now these 6 parameters are the same 6 parameters as are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can actually put inside of that schedule in your title block only these 6 parameters. And as I said before, you cannot add a new parameter in here. So you cannot actually add a new parameter inside of your revision schedule for the title block. So this is a big limitation for me, because if we need in the project to have more parameters or higher control, you cannot do this with the schedule inside of the title block. So we are actually not using that in our project. So let's just now go back to our floor plan. And if we have this revision schedule placed in our title block, so you can see if I select this, it's actually in the title block. It will go and pick the revisions that are placed in the view or sheet and schedule them. You can see that actually I have here one revision that is not placed in here, that doesn't have any cloud, and that is this not for construction, which can be found in here. Not for construction, you can see show none and numbering none. So how it is possible that it is actually showing in here is because if the revision cloud schedule is placed in the title block family, you can actually play with what should be shown in here. So let's just now take a look on the example from this revision 5, which is the number 2. So if I will delete this one, you can see it was deleted from the revision schedule as well because it is not placed on the sheet. Let's say that I want to force it to show. You can actually do this if you go to the sheet parameters, if you do not have anything selected, with the revisions on sheet, here in this revisions on sheet dialog, you can check this shown in revision schedule. If it is grayed out, you cannot actually like untick it because it is placed in the view, and that's why you see it. But you can see for the revisions that are not placed, you can choose to show them in the schedule, as is this one not for construction. It is shown. If I uncheck this, hit OK, you can see now it is not shown in here. Okay, I will move this so you can see it better. And now let's change this to be again shown in here. And now you can turn it on. So this way you can show revisions that are actually not placed on the sheet or in the view in the revision schedule that is placed directly inside of the title block or the sheet. Good thing about this is that if you go with your revisions and now let's say that I want to see only the revision number 2. So this is my, I think, this is my revision 3. So I will close this one and this one, do not show it. So now you can see I have only my revision number 2 and this one. And because I have closed it, I do not see it now in my view or my sheet, and this is true for all of the project, but I still see it in this schedule in here. So this is actually good when you are using this revision schedule for revision cloud when it is placed in the title block family. Okay, and the last thing that you can do with your revision cloud is to use revision cloud schedule directly inside of your project. So you can actually go here and create a new schedule quantities and choose revision clouds. And here you can see that I can choose from my revision clouds, comments, mark, this is my additional information, my revision information, which I have created as my custom parameter. So this is good because now you can create a schedule with your custom parameters, which you cannot actually do with this schedule, as I said before. So this is a good thing. Revision clouds. And I can change to also take some information from revisions as a definition. So this is the same things as are in this revision. So let's say my revision number, issued to date, description or sequence. Let's go with the number and description. Now I can also take some information from the view it is placed at, or from the sheet it is placed at. if I want, and some project information. And I will go also with my comments and my revision information. So you can see that you can actually place a lot more information inside of your revision cloud schedule that you can in your revision schedule that is placed inside of your title block family. So let's just create this. Now this is my revision cloud schedule, and I will place this on my sheet. Let's say in here. And now we can see, okay, this revision cloud schedule has actually more information than this one, because I am here getting all of my revisions inside of my project. So I will need to filter them to filter only the revisions that are placed on the sheet, and I can do this with this filter by sheet option. So if I choose this and hit OK, here it looks the same, but if I go to my sheet, you can see that it is now showing only these two revision clouds, which are visible in the view. When I compare this revision cloud schedule to this revision schedule on the sheet in the title block, the biggest difference I see is that you cannot actually very easily filter this to show you the revision clouds which are not visible in the view. As you can see here, for example, my revision R01, revision 1, which is not visible here because I have set it to be none. I can see it in here because it knows that it is placed in there but hidden, but I cannot see it in here because of my setting to filter by sheet, which actually works in the way that if you do not see it in the view, it will not be scheduled. So if I will hide this, you can see you cannot actually see it in here, nor you can actually see it in here. So this is one big difference when working with revision cloud schedules, that if you are using revision cloud schedule filtered by sheet and you will hide your revision clouds, you will not be able to schedule them that easily. You can actually make some workaround that you would use different parameters to filter it, but if you filter it with this per sheet, filter by sheet, you will not be able to see that. Okay, so to wrap it up, if you want to use revision schedules which are inside of the title block family that you place inside of your sheet, you have a little bit higher flexibility when it comes to showing revisions which are not visible in the view or in the sheet, but you cannot add more parameters in here and you have a little bit less control. Whereas if you use revision cloud schedule directly inside of your Revit project, you can actually put a lot more information in there. You can create your custom parameters and schedule them, but you have a little bit less control about what you show or how you filter your revision clouds, because it is not that easy to show revision clouds which are not visible in the view. So I would end with this. It is complicated stuff. Probably it was hard for you to catch it, but I hope that you will get some useful information and it will help you with your Revit project.